Ciotta, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed singer, songwriter, producer, he does it all, Mr. CHRIS Dunn. Hello, Chris, how are you?
Good, how are you doing, Will?
Chris, I'm doing so much better, and I'm excited that the audience just got a little sneak listen into one of your songs, Knocked Over the Head. Talk to me a little bit about this project, fleshed out, the impetus for it, and what you're most excited about, moving forward in terms of maybe the music that isn't out there yet as part of the project.
Yeah, so it started like when I was in high school and middle school. I was in the same band, and we played and recorded music since we were like in third grade. And so we had like put out a record and stuff, but then we all went off to college and we're all in different cities now. So it was like, I got to start something new. And I'm in the music school there, but a lot of the music school at DePaul is all like jazzers and classical people. So I was kind of just doing it on my own. And I just kind of started like, I would go to the practice rooms and I'd start recording demos and stuff like that. And I was like, dang, I kind of think I need a band for this. So I posted one of the demos to SoundCloud, and then I like posted that on Reddit. And I was like, if anybody's in Chicago and wants to be my drummer for my band, like go for it. And this kid, Alec, he was like 15 at the time, and I was like in college, but he hit me up. And so we started hanging out and making music together and stuff. And so he's my drummer to this day. And now I have another guy who I met on Instagram. So this whole thing has become like an internet like collaboration, which I did not anticipate it to be.
That.
Yeah. This guy, Sam, hit me up, and he's like my bass player now. So we haven't put on a live show yet. Well, because COVID kind of like messed all that up. And now we're just trying to like find a place to rehearse and stuff. But I'm like slowly assembling a band. But for the most part, I record and play all the instruments. Alec plays drums, but I usually do the rest. And I record it in my room. And yeah.
Well, people just heard a little bit of your work, and people can read more about you right below this video. But what I also love about what you've been doing, Chris, is something that I think a lot of artists have realized during this pandemic, that they don't have to wait for studios to open to pay an abnormal amount per hour to do the thing, that you can just do it yourself.
Yeah,
I'm curious,
totally.
like, in addition to obviously continuing to produce your own work, I want you to lean into talking to me about what you miss most about performing live.
I mean, I've always with my old band, we used to play shows like as much as we could, and we would always kind of try to make a thing out of it, like we'd hype it up for a really long time. We'd like do some sort of like theme or something like that. And I kind of just miss like, I don't know, being on stage. It's a very like I just feel like the concept of going on stage itself is kind of like inauthentic in a way. Like you don't go on stage and do stuff like in the library here, so it's like there's a inauthenticness like inherently as part of it. So with that like veil, you can kind of do whatever you want, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. No, I hear you. And I think, I was a performer for over 25 years, believe it or not, Chris. And, I think as a performer, you're right. I think that there is this kind of, I don't want to say persona that one takes on, but you do kind of enter a different flow.
Yeah,
And
totally.
I think what I'm hearing a lot from artists all around the world that I've told you off camera, that I've, how many interviews over, God bless, 500 or so all around the world, every language, every location, everyone misses the connection.
Yeah,
The
totally.
conversation that happens with an audience. Do you have any concerts on the books? Or if not, where do you see yourself being in Chicago where you are? Do you see yourself maybe performing in Chicago sometime soon?
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on these next 2 songs right now, and so I'm trying to wrap these up before we like get into the shed and start rehearsing, but when we do, like, it's gonna be like our first show, and we kind of have like we have people who listen to us in Chicago and who know the band, so I kind of want to just make it a big deal. I want it to be free, and I want it to be like I want to pack it out, and that's why I'm also kind of waiting for the whole COVID thing to like
I know, right?
die
No,
down.
I'm talking about live shows, and you should be
Yeah.
like, Will, there's still a pandemic, Will, going on, okay?
I want to wait till it's like totally fine to just like pack shoulder to shoulder, because that's what I want to do. I want to just be free. I want to like pose it as a party, but it's like a show. You know what I
But
mean?
Chris, this is what I love about you. And I mean, again, I think it's, your youth, God bless America, but also the fact that I think you have such a great mindset about things, that you're not in it to make it the quick buck. You're in it for the long run. And
Totally.
right, you're almost showing and not telling people when you're at a CHRIS Dunn show that it's going to be a party. So much so, everyone, when we're able and ready, you're gonna come to my show. You're not gonna pay. You're going to be shoulder to shoulder so that you don't have to feel any sort of, oh, I don't know, am I going to get, no, you want that first moment to be free.
Totally. Totally.
That was my soapbox moment. You're welcome. So Chris, final question for you. And actually, before I ask it, I want to remind everyone, for more on CHRIS Dunn of Fleshed Out, you can read more about him and his entire project right below this video. Chris, in looking ahead at a world that hopefully sooner rather than later we'll get back to some sort of normalcy, I'm curious to know of, you seem like a guy that's not all about the destination, but really focuses on the journey. But if you could switch that mindset for a moment, are there any long-term goals that you have for you and the project?
I do like to feel like I take it one step at a time.
I know, I was right.
Yeah, I try to do I'm always trying to get better at what I do and feel more natural at what I do.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, I would have no problem like headlining a festival or something if that day came. Like it's definitely like the direction I'm shooting for, but
That's
it's
the
just
North
one step
Star.
at a
But
time.
you know what? You're going to enjoy every step of the way because, again, Chris, even though you're young, you have such a great mindset. And I'm sure you've been told this before. But again, having been in this business for as long as I have, you don't usually get someone as young as you with such good head on their shoulders. And I really, no BS, I mean that. And I think it's going to serve you really, really well because so many, as you know, so many young artists are like all about the likes, the comments, the approval, being
and that's the thing about it though, sometimes that helps. And I'm like so bad at that, but like that's the nature of the music business now too. It's like getting the likes really helps. But I don't know, it's not what's on the front of my mind.
Chris,
but
I'm going to tell you something, my friend. My gut is that's going to be a fad. That honestly, I hate to say this, but like this old school kind of build it and they will come, dare I quote, Field of Dreams kind of mentality that you have, it's going to effing serve you well for the career. You know what I mean?
I'd like to think so too. I hope so, at least.
Well, I'm putting it out there for you. And again, I'm so grateful for your time today, Chris. And
Awesome.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Will. Nice to meet you, man.